As a result of God's righteousness imparted, your life is transparent in all your walk with God. You don't do things for men's eyes. Your left hand doesn't know what your right hand does. Whether it's the money you're giving, no one knows. At the best of your ability. Sometimes they have to. But it's only for God. Otherwise men say thank you one day. God won't say thank you. Wouldn't that be a grief after all the millions you gave, sir? You won't get a thank you from Christ if you didn't do it with all your heart as best as you could, that no one knows. And if someone has to, it has to be very few. As a result of this righteousness God imparts into us when we're absolutely surrendered to God, we're able to be transparent even in our prayer life. We pray not only in public meetings and say the right things for God to come, but God never comes because we're never alone. And anyone who is not consumed in a life of prayer alone with God becomes a hypocrite the moment he stands up in the public and starts praying like he's a prayer warrior. He's a total grief to God if your life is not soaked and consumed in prayer when no man is watching and praying for the same things. Every word you utter in prayer becomes a grief and a rebuke to God, a holy God, and a stench of hypocrisy. Enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father in secret, which seeth in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret. Tell me, does thy Father see you in secret? Oh, he sees you coming to the prayer meetings. You don't miss them, do you? You've got to be heard. But tell me, the meeting with God, you miss it like this? You miss it like this? It's only God that sees I'm not faithful then. And after all, I'm in this because of man, not God. Is that something that's true about you, Church of Christ? As a result of God's righteousness imparted, you forgive men their trespasses. When you fast, it's just for God, not for men. You cease to be materialistic and to stop laying up for yourselves treasures upon earth that's not necessary. According to James 5, it will just bring judgment upon men if it's not necessary. You look further afield to what you can do for God, and you begin to lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. Suddenly the world becomes God's vision through you. Even with materialism loses its hold on you. You don't serve two masters and find yourself desperately unable to serve God in truth because you're serving materialism. You don't live in anxiety about tomorrow. You just obey Christ and you don't take thought. You live one day at a time. And if you do take thought, it's just sensible. But there's no anxiety. There's just resting in God's faithfulness. After all, He promises a rebuke. We die from worry, but we're trying to keep up our insurances. That's terrible.